Hi, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to my first workshop with, I'm going to teach you how to make a crystal healing circle. I have brought a lot of my crystal, I call them my babies, my friends, and I'm going to tell you about a few of them. Now, I don't all use crystals. I use crystals and I use rocks. Because when you think about it, rocks are the foundation of the earth. And rocks have a lot of power. I mean, we walk on rocks, and we look at rocks, and crystals, I mean, a lot of crystals have been grown in caves, with water dripping down them, and water from the earth, from the sky and the earth. So they both have their own types of powers. So I felt that with working with a combination of rocks and crystals, you get a double whammy of power. So without saying, I'm going to build an energy circle. And now everyone can do this. You just have to take your intuition. And when of course, I have an affinity to rocks. I've had it ever since I was a little girl. I was always picking up rocks and stones, and I had a collection. Well, when I got married, I couldn't take them with me because it kind of got, quite a bit. And my sister and my brothers, they like to play with it. But my father decided that if there was too much, and so when he paved his driveway, he put them all in the driveway. So they're all energizing that driveway. So I had to start all over again. But I didn't have a problem with that because a lot of them, they kind of talked to me. And actually, I wanted to tell you about this particular necklace. This necklace right here, I was in the UP, Upper Peninsula of Michigan, and I was with a friend, and we went into this antique shop. And in this antique shop, they had a beautiful wall of rocks, and I thought, if I was a millionaire, I'd love those rocks. But, I just thought of that, and then I heard this little voice go, Barb. So I turned to my friend, and I said, what do you want? What do you mean, what do I want? I didn't say your name. Really? I said, okay. So I'm walking around, Barb. I said, are you playing with me? No, I'm not. I didn't say anything. Okay, then something is calling my name. So they had these showcases, with all the different things around. So I'm looking around, and then I saw this. And the guy I says, I need to see this. And the guy picks up and he goes, oh, that's a silver cap. He says, if you don't buy it, I got to raise the price. I said, it's already sold. It called my name. So, that's how this one came. And I went to a workshop just recently, and it was a Native American from California, and he was talking about herbs and how they work on healing people and what he does it and what his beliefs are. And in this place, it's called Crystal Treasures in Pontiac. It's over on Walton. They had different rocks, and of course, this one called my name. This is raw tourmaline. And so I had to bring that too because it wanted to see everyone today. And my rocks enjoy people. My crystals and rocks. Now a lot of people, they pick their individual private rocks and crystals. And because it's attuned to them, they don't want other people to touch them. So that's a personal preference. So you really need, if you want to see something that somebody's wearing, you really need to ask their permission and make sure that they're okay with that, because some people don't want you to touch theirs because they feel like your energy comes off on them. Mine are just like me. They're going, hi. They're very welcoming. So in this sense, when I'm going to show you how to do this energy healing circle, I'm going to talk about my rocks and crystals, give you a few stories about it. And then I'm going to be asking for volunteers. Some people you'll be able to get to actually sitting here, and I will look at your aura before you sit in my circle and afterwards. And then I'm going to talk about how the rocks and crystals affect your aura and how they enhance and make you feel more energized. And so without further ado, unless we have any questions, I will start with them creating their, yes?
So your crystals don't mind being touched by other people?
No.
And so does that mean that you don't ever clear?
I clear them.
Okay, how do you clear them?
There are several ways to clear them. You can put them in salt water and rinse them. You can put them outside in the rain. My favorite is to put them out in a full moon and that cleansed them overnight. And they really like that the best because they get to feel back to where they belong, other than the fact that they've allowed me to, take them into my life. So they enjoy being recharged up by the Mother Earth. And anything else?
I have like a million questions, but I'll let everyone ask. So you can see the aura of the rocks and crystals. Is it right? Correct?
Yes. Everything has energy, and crystals and rocks are usually pretty clear. They just have like a little shimmery around them.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. How is that different from seeing the aura of a human being?
Well, human beings, because we are full of emotions and we can be up and down and even our body temperatures and everything. We are different colors. Usually rocks and crystals are always clear because they have, the only emotion they have is love. Yeah, they love, and that's it. They have no other emotion. They love being where they're at. They love it when they connect with someone. They love when you look at them. They love when you admire them. So it's, that's all I ever feel from the rocks that call me is just pure unadulterated love, which I think is awesome. Yes.
When you say that you hear them, do you mean you pick up the vibrational frequency?
Yes.
And then it does convert into sound?
I beg your pardon?
Does it get converted into sound, like hearing?
That's a good question. A lot of crystals do have the sounds because like they make clocks out of them, and they utilize them for things. And there's even crystal bowls where people take a thing and they make noise. But my crystals are not singing crystals. They just like to be.
No, when you say that they talk to you,
I
was wondering whether you just pick up the frequency and vibrations, or
they actually, well, like this one specifically called my name. It did not want to be left in that store anymore. It said Barb, so I knew. Usually not all of my crystals do that. But the reason I brought this one today is because it blew my mind away. I had never had one actually say my name. I've just known that I feel like they were, telling me, come on, pick me up. I have a massive piece of tourmaline that I have at home. And I was up in Maine, and I was just walking down this path, and it's like I heard, look down. So I went and looked down, and there's this beautiful piece of massive tourmaline, and everybody's walked down this path. And it was appreciated that. So I picked it up, and it came home with me. Another, I have some core samples, and I have one here, and I have one at home. And it was just laying on the side of the road. And I thought, gosh, there's been a lot of people walking around here and they don't really know what this is. And so I picked it up because it's, part of the earth. And this is what I'm talking about. And this one actually came from the Upper Peninsula where they do the mining for copper and that. So there's kind of little green pieces in there because that's part of the copper. The other one I have is from a gold mine in Utah. And, well, actually, it's not Utah. It's, let me think. It's the world's largest gold mine, and it's an open pit gold mine. And this was laying on the side of the road, and I was out west, and I don't remember the state. You have to give me a break. I'm 70 years old. I've forgotten more than I know. In my 20s, I knew everything. So, So I'm going to start with this as a foundation of the crystals. And usually, you want to, when you're making this circle, you want to make sure that you start with the larger rocks and the back. It's like a foundation. So I'm going to put this right down here. And then I'm just going to, this is pink quartz. And let's see, today, what else is gonna, they keep talking to me. There's a little amethyst, so I'm gonna put those, this decided to roll. You can't roll. And when you're putting these down, you want to go counterclockwise. So you want to go the opposite way of a clock. Now the clock goes this way, 1, 2, 3. So you want to make sure that you want to go counterclockwise. So you want all the points to be directed the opposite way. So
Why is that, Barb?
Because you want the flow to be counterclockwise, because that's the way the energy works in our hemisphere. It always goes in a counterclockwise way. Now, if you're in the southern hemisphere, you would do just the opposite. Because the way the flow is, because we're just upside down. And their winters are our summers are their winters. And I really would like to go there someday.
So are rocks, crystals are rocks, or they all do a lot of the same things? Are they different?
Well, a lot of rocks have been brought up from the ground, and a lot of crystals are grown in the ground. As the water drips into the ground and creates pockets in the stone, and that's how the crystals are grown. So, you have crystals that are in little round balls, and you crack them open, and you've got a nice geode. So they are different, but they are similar.
They still give you something.
Huh?
They still both give you something.
Yes, yeah. For me, they like to be mixed up because they're friends with each other and they enjoy each other. So, I always mix them up. And I really, some people would probably think that you would have to do a total crystal circle, and I disagree with that, but it's okay for me to disagree, and it's okay for other people to have their own opinion. Everyone has their own opinion, like everyone has their own opinion of colors of the aura and how they feel, that it means to them. And for me, all the years and everything that I've seen, the way the people are working and people are, that, this is my interpretation of, the auras. It might not necessarily, other people might not necessarily agree, and that's okay. Because if you ever look at all your aura books, you'll find that everyone has their own opinion. So, moving along, I'm going to keep working on this. And if they're not happy with me, they're going to make me turn them. And I've had, they've argued with me a few times when I put them on the wrong spot. Oh! Which is fun, Nothing like talking to a rock, okay? That reminds me of a story. I wanted Michaela over there. I wanted to give her a rock, something for her front yard. So I had a piece of petrified wood, and I gave it to her, and she said, "Oh, that's too lovely. I want to keep that in my house." I said, "Okay." So I had another rock, and it was really embedded in my ground, but I had thought about that for her. And I told her, I said, "Okay, if you move and loosen yourself off the ground, then I'll give it to her. I'll ask her if she wants you." So it did. 2 days later, it was that far off the ground. I called her. I said, "This rock wants to come home with you. Would you like it?" She says, "Of course." So it's just, you never know. Yesterday, one of my pieces wanted to go home with someone, and so they took them. My pieces come and go. They like people, and sometimes they've had enough of me, and then they want to move on. So I just let them move on.
How did you discover you had this ability?
To do the crystal healing circle? That's a good question. I think that I actually created one myself. I actually thought, I wonder what would happen if I just put these rocks in a circle and sat in there. And I felt so good. I thought, wow. So, I don't know that I've actually seen anyone do a crystal healing circle. I think I probably heard about it, but like I said, everyone has opinions. But because I see auras, I saw the energy moving around the rocks, and I thought that would be really good to benefit everybody, you know, or as many people as I could do that to. So, and then of course, I have to tell you, I have this before I go on further. I got this wand. I had a smaller wand, and this one's really powerful. It just, you know, if I aim it, it just shoots out. So, I went to, one of my friends had one of those Michigan license, so she could go into the, you know, the professional area. People have a license to go in there because you get a big discount. And so they had a bunch of stones and rocks and crystals, and I went in there and I had no intention of buying anything. And I walked through there and I saw these, and this just kind of came in my hand. So I walked through the whole exhibit, and then I tried to put this back. It didn't want to go back. I said, okay, I guess I'm buying this. So, and it's really been a good tool. It really, really wanted me to have it. So, but it's really weird when they won't let them go back down. It's like, okay.
So Barb, when you're putting the circle together, are there certain stones that you know are good for like certain chakras that are going in the circle, or that you can see that they address certain areas of the energy fields?
Well, you know what? That's a good question, because I actually did a class before years ago, and I told people, I said, I'm going to pick 2 people, volunteers, and one of you is going to enjoy the energy circle and the other one's not going to. And so I got my volunteers, and the one had a great time, the other one almost passed out. So I picked out the rocks, and by the way, I don't have those, you know, here because I didn't want to take any chances. I said, these are the ones you need to stay away from, because she was allergic to them, but she just got mad at me. So I never want to do that again. I don't want to demonstrate the negativity of it. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to muscle test. Is there any rocks or crystals that anyone in this room would be negatively affected by? No. So I'm okay, because I don't want to do that to anybody. That wasn't fair to them. I felt really bad afterwards.
So is that because some of those rocks were like pulling energy as opposed to, were they drawing energy away? Is that why she felt so weak?
It was, I'm trying to think the name of it was a very powerful green stone. Malachite, yeah. It was malachite, and she was allergic to malachite. And a lot of people can't handle malachite. Malachite, you have to be a strong person in order to handle malachite. I didn't even like it at first, and I don't use it, you know, because after I saw the effects of what malachite did to her, I was definitely not going to put that on anybody. So if you have any kind of emotional problems, or you're depressed or sad, you know, or you're insecure, or you're going through some type of dramas, malachite is not a good stone to have around you, because it brings all that stuff up, and it'll have a negative effect, which exactly what happened to her. She had this negative effect, and it was not pleasant.
So what's a good one for those?
Well, you mean for if you're working with stuff like that? Well, my pink quartz is really good. Amethyst is another really good stone for, pink quartz is good for peace and harmony, and amethyst is a really good one to kind of center you. Another one is, I can't think of my stones anymore. It's hematite. Hematite is a really good grounding stone. And of course, crystals, now I have a lot of Arkansas crystal. I actually found myself. And Arkansas crystal, they have a lot of iron in them, and they are really grounding. So if you ever get a chance to go to Arkansas and get some crystals from there, it's a really good place to go. And I said I loved it there. I loved Arkansas, except when I was going there, and they have these places you can go pick them up. There was it looked like a centipede. I mean, it was that long. It looked like a child's toy, actually. It was that long, about that wide. It had black and yellow and red and yellow legs, and it was just standing there. So we thought it was a child's toy. My friend went to touch it, and it reared up on its leg and twirled around and went under the rock that I was just going to sit on. I said, I'm done. If a centipede looks that big, what else is big there? So that was the only negative part about that. Now this one right here, let's see, no, here it is. This stone right here I want to tell you about. This is, my father found this, and this has gold in it. And my father gave this stone to me, and then he wanted to see it back. And do you know this stone hid in my house until my father died, and I did not find that again until after he passed away. Because it did not want to go back to my father, but it didn't want me to see it either, because it was afraid I would mail it back to my dad so he could have it. So it's really strange. And this one right here, I picked out of a pocket. They have these walls. If you ever belong to a rock club, sometimes they have rock hunting trips, but you have to wear a hard hat. And the walls, you got to be careful where you can go because rocks can come down. But there's holes in the rocks, and I actually found a pocket, and I just pulled this thing out. So that was really cool. Now, every time I set the circle up, it's always different. This here is also a form of tourmaline. It's like they call that watermelon tourmaline. Yeah, it's expensive rock, but I love it, and it loves people. So I always try to make sure I put that one in there. And this one right here is Rhodochrosite, and that comes from Mexico. This is also a very expensive stone, but you know what? You all are worth it. And this one right here is sulfur. And I got sulfur from Ohio, and they have rock quarries and they have sulfur in there. In rock clubs, what they do is they try to rescue rocks and fossils before they're ground up for road fill. So, and of course, when you belong to one of these, we have rules or regulations about always getting permission before you take anything from somebody's land. That's really important because. If it's public land in a park, then they're there for everyone to enjoy. But if you're going somewhere where with a rock club, and you have permission to go there, then that's always how I found all my really good stuff. And I encourage that if you're drawn to that and you're strong enough. Now I'm getting kind of weak for going on all those trips, but I still would probably do it. This one right here is rutilated quartz with a tourmaline inset, and I love this one too. I mean, I have to tell you that I'm a nut about tourmaline. I think tourmaline is my all-time most favorite rock because it's really good for combating negativity and promoting good vibrations. This is one of my pieces of Arkansas crystal, and you can see all the iron in the rock. And like I said, a lot of my Arkansas crystal I keep passing on to people because when I have private sessions and they decide that they want to go. So, I never know when I build these circles. I never know which ones are going to want to be in the circle and which ones want to say, okay, I don't feel like it this time. So.
Barb, I have a question.
Sure.
So you're describing these rocks as having individual consciousness, like they have a personality and desires and whatnot, right?
I feel like they do.
Okay, so what happens if a rock breaks in half, and now you have two rocks where there was one? What happened to the individual consciousness that was there before?
It's still there.
But is it now two of the same thing?
Right, exactly.
So what, is it like identical twins kind of
Yeah,
personality?
it could
Okay.
be, yes. That would be a good description of it. And if it breaks in half, it's ready to break in half. It's tired being together. You know, because I have a lot of mine, they decide to split. And I say, well, okay, I don't want this part anymore.
Do rocks care that we put them into driveways and whatever else?
Well, they don't care, but the rock club people care. You know, they want to try to keep the best ones for future generations to see and enjoy. So that's why we have rock clubs, and that's why we try to get permission from quarries so that we can save some of them, you know, because if you go to Cranbrook, I encourage you to go there sometime and take a look at their rock displays and crystals. I mean, they have beautiful stuff. I actually have a favicite that belongs there. A favicite is a petrified mushroom, and it's about that big. You saw it the other day. And this is amethyst, and I actually found this one, and I found it up in Canada. So, but I do whatever I can to enjoy my rocks. Okay. The end's going to be I'll actually show you. The closure of the gate will be this double terminated crystal. And that's because it's got points on both ends, which makes it double terminated. And I like the idea that the energy could choose to flow either way. Even though I'm making it, counterclockwise, it's still having the energy flowing, could flow the other way, or if it needed to, it could go backwards. So that's why I do that. Alrighty, I'm getting close to the end, and I'll be having somebody come up here and
Have you been drawn to collecting rocks your whole life?
my whole life.
My daughter is just like that too.
Well, and it's just, like I said, we're rescuing it because a lot of them, they're put in driveway infill and stuff. I mean, I actually found one. I probably shouldn't have taken it, but I did. It was in a shopping center, and it was a piece of petrified wood with little bugs on it. And I thought, they don't even know what that is. It was way in the back, and I just helped myself. Now everybody knows that.
Barb, have you had any really extraordinary experiences with crystal healing where things have happened, crazy stuff has happened? Like major healings or
I've had people, when they've been in there, it makes them feel so much better. The energy, and I cleanse their aura. A lot of times, when I look for breaks in auras, I close the breaks in the aura, and it helps re-energize the people that utilize this. So I really think it's a good thing to be able to do and be able to experience.
Barb, wasn't there a time when you did a healing with somebody in a rock?
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. Thank you for reminding me of that story. I totally forgot about that. Like I said, at my age, you forget more than you remember. When I was, I was probably thinking my late 20s, early 30s. It would be late 20s, I believe. I had a beautician who told me that she, because it would be late 20s, because she had throat cancer, and her doctor said she wouldn't be able to work. I says, we'll let you work, because not only do I do this, but I used to do Jinshindo, Shatsu, myofascial, upper cranial, energy work, energy rebalancing, and I worked with crystals. So I told her, I said, I'll make sure that you'll be able to work the whole time. Well, it shocked her doctor because she worked the whole time she was going through chemo. Mind you, I came there sometimes 2 or 3 times a week to work on her, which I didn't mind. I just did it because, I wanted to help her out, and that's the type of person I am. So when she got done with the chemo, I took this beautiful amethyst cluster, and after I did all my energy work on her, I put this cluster on her throat. And what I did was I called it holding points. I held certain spots on your head where they can get really hot, and it feels like my fingers are being burnt in flames, But you have to keep your hands on her head in order for everything to set until my fingers cool off. Well, this big old amethyst cluster that was on her neck all of a sudden went boom and exploded and went all over the room. And I goes, well, because we took care of that rock, didn't we? And yeah, she did really well. She worked several more years, and then she went and retired in Florida. So yeah, that was a big thing. And thank you for reminding me, because I just,
Was that rock exploding a turning point for her health?
Yes, yeah. What it did as it was building up, it was pulling all the chemo out of her body, and it kept turning darker and darker, and it got really black, and then it just all of a sudden shattered. But it wasn't an amethyst anymore. It was just, it had pulled all the chemo out. So that's when I think that was probably the first time I realized, boy, these rocks are really powerful. Yeah, but I acted like I was cool, and oh yeah, that I expected it, but I was like, oh my goodness. I think it's going to be in the center. Okay. The circle is built, and so what I like to do is I like to use my wand, and I like to energize it. And this one right here said it's going to stay right there. It just wants to be over by the chair. So counterclockwise, which is the opposite way, I'm just going to kind of take my wand around it 3 times. And 3 times is, for me, 3 is a sacred number. And I always felt you do 3 times, it kind of sets things. And these guys right here decided to split up a little bit here because I didn't have it right. So brought my attention to it. Okay, now the energy circle is complete. So what I would like to do now is I would like to have volunteers. And you want to come? Okay. What I want to do is I want to have you come up here, and I'm going to look at your aura. No, not yet. Yeah, not yet. And I want to see how your aura is. Okay. You have some darkness around your head, but you're yellow. You're yellow. Okay. And but you have some stress around your shoulders, and let's see. A little bit. Your muscles look a little bit strained on your around your legs, and so So he's yellow, and I see some darkness here and some stress in the shoulders and in his legs. So I'm going to open this circle up, and then I'm going to have you step in. So let me open it up.
Barb, can you explain what a yellow is?
Okay. And let's sit down. Okay, a yellow aura is the youngest and the oldest of the aura colors. I'm a yellow, and yellow people are they're like wide-eyed children. You know, they can be like, oh, everything's so wonderful. or they're also could be really old souls. They could be the first people. There's like a circle of aura colors. The yellow is the beginning and the end. And so, I've been around the block a few times. So this is my last time on Earth, although I've been told I can come back one more time. But I don't know if I want to. I don't know. I think that I'd like to have the enjoyment of watching everybody else and being able to influence you from up there. But, I'm not done yet. So, okay. So, as he sits in the energy circle, I'm just going to kind of get rid of this negativity in here. And as I'm doing this, I'm watching a blue come in. So you must be a little bit analytical because there's that little bit of blue showing up. So I'm going to try to work on that, and which is okay. I love blue people. Blue people are my favorite people. If you have a favorite, I actually love all the aura colors, but the blue ones they're the ones like, yeah, sure, and they have the skepticism, but once you convince them that what you're saying is the truth, they are on board 150%. They're more so than any other group. So now we're going to kind of get rid of this little stress, these little stress marks here. Okay. And working around here. Well, you got a little break there, so I'm going to work on fixing that. Sometimes when I see a little bit of break in the aura, it just means it needs to be kind of re-sewn up. I'm just going to watch to see how the energy is flowing. Now, what's happening with him, well, you're a little bit embarrassed, but it's really okay. You can't fool me. I'm showing in your aura color. But the energy is starting to increase. He's starting to get a lot of different colors in, because all my crystals are liking showing him an energy. So how do you feel?
Kind of like a numb vibration.
Okay.
But then again, I don't know. It could be because I'm embarrassed, right?
So what's happening is all the energy of the rocks are circling him around, and they're going up and through him. And the energy, it's kind of like shimmering. He's got shimmering all through his body. So the rocks are actually coming up and going through you and energizing you.
Palms are starting to get warm.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I won't make you stay in there too long because...
Keep working.
Huh?
I'll stay in here all day.
Well, I found that a lot of times when I'm doing the energy circle at first, that the first time people, after just a few minutes, they're okay. It's too intense, so I have to let it go. But I said then I have had people sit in there for probably longest is 20 minutes before they've had enough. But usually it's from 3 to 5 minutes, perhaps. My ideal would be 10 minutes, but of course today I would like to try to get as many people as I can that would like to experience this, because I like experiencing it. Every so often at home, I'll just put myself one up and sit myself down and go, oh, okay. But I just don't have time lately, and they've been yelling at me. So, okay. So, the energy, I can see the energy going. It's flowing through you and up you and around, and your aura, you're just going right through the ceiling with your aura now, where before it wasn't showing me very high, and it's got there's different layers. There's a yellow, and then there's a green, then there's a lavender, and then there's a white going all the way up. So and which is the higher consciousness, which I think that crystals resonate with the higher conscious, and that's another thing that I believe is really well with crystals. I think that they help us help people that don't know how to reach their higher powers. I really do feel like they help you. And putting you in a crystal circle helps you connect with that we wonder about, but we don't actually see, So that's basically why I like putting the people in a crystal circle, because I've heard you need to meditate, you need to meditate, you need to meditate. Well, when I'm in here, I feel like I am meditating. So I feel like it's another form of meditation because I'm quiet and I just let the rocks and the crystals do their work. So.
When you're doing it to yourself, do you use the wand too, or just sit?
Oh, yeah. Sometimes I put the wand. Sometimes I sit. The crystal ball didn't want to see him, but sometimes I use the crystal ball. Sometimes I put in. It was nothing, you didn't need this, but some people need it, but you're pretty balanced. And but some people like the crystal ball. Sometimes I'll let them hold the wand. Sometimes I let them hold this wand. Every person's different, and each person will do something different. But I set up the circle today for all of you, so it's like it's welcome for anyone that wants to come in. But as I'm doing it for each individual person in like a private thing, it could be different. And none of my circles are ever the same. So they always tell me how they want to set up, and they're always different.
Now, how long will this last?
Will this last?
In terms of, you said you fixed the chakras or the aura?
Yeah. Well, no, that's done. You're good. Yeah. Yeah, once I fix, that's the problem with when I do things. A lot of people want you to keep coming back and coming back. If I see something, you can come back if you want, and I'll keep enhancing. But once if I see a break in the aura and I fix that, that's what made me, back in the 80s, I used to do this. And I would fix people, and then they'd move on. And other people say that we're doing similar things. Well, Barb, why are you doing that? Then you don't have any clients. I said, I'd rather have people be well than have clients. But that's me, I'm not ever going to be one to try to keep you coming on just to keep you coming on. If you want to keep coming back, that's your choice. It'll only improve. It's kind of like the energy transfers. Then some people can go to one energy transfer and they're done. And other people, they can feel themselves growing with them. And they do grow. Every time I'm around and I'm observing, I still get benefits. And I enjoy them. And I'm so much happier than I have been since I met Ethan. I was okay. I was a happy camper, but since I've met him, I've been so much happier. I feel like things, if somebody pulls in front of me, all right. Before I go, I'd be upset. But now, if you need to be in front of me, go right ahead. It's like la-di-da, And if I get somebody tailgating me, I'll just say, okay, let me see where I can pull off. So they obviously need to go. They're obviously in a hurry. So let me just let them go, and wish them well and hope nothing happens to them, and then moving on. And then I get back in. But I've done that quite a bit. Before Ethan, no, you're not. I don't care how much you tailgate me. I'm going to stay right here. So, that's just an example of how he has influenced me, which I think is a really good thing. And, of course, my rocks, I always use them for everyone else. Unfortunately, I'm always thinking of everyone else. I very seldom think about myself. And I got to think of myself a little bit more. I should use my rocks more for myself, but I'm always using them for others. And, that's okay too. So I'm going to open this circle now, and then you can come out, and then, whoops, let me open it this way. Okay. And thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay. She put her hand up first, so come on. What's your name?
Lee?
Lee? Come on up, Lee. Oh, wait a minute. Before you do, let me take a look at your aura. Oh, we have another yellow. I'm getting really lucky with the yellow people, which, like I said, my color. So, you do look. Your shoulders look sad. You look like you have a lot of stress on your shoulders. You have some lavender on your head that looks like you're trying to heal from something that's going on, but your aura is also not a bright yellow. It's kind of a muddy yellow. So we'll put you in here and let's see what we can do for you. See, a couple of them wanted to move. There we go. All right. So, I'm going to use my wand. We're going to try to get rid of this negative stuff. So, I'm going to circle around this way. Let's see. This way. Going around. 1, 2, 3, sealing the circle. And with you, I'm going to take the wand and we're going to go over you. We're going to build a little energy around you. And you need this. So you're going to hold this. And we're just going to what I'm going to do is like cleanse her aura. Just kind of brighten it up. So I'm going to get rid of all that muddy color. So I'm just going to kind of pull it away from her. Just kind of flick it out. I'm just going to throw it right outside the crystal circle. And then I'm going to watch. I'm going to watch to see what happens. And my rocks, my wand will work on her. Let's see, whenever. Okay. Well, doing that, I can see you're lightening up already. Your lavender is brightened and it's going all the way to the ceiling. Her lavender color is going all the way to the ceiling. So what it's doing, what that means is it's reaching up. That's a healing color in her case. It's reaching up to the ceiling and actually through the sky, and it's connecting with the universe. And so it's bringing in a healing color to her, and the yellow that she has, it's brightening up right now through the crystal. Your color is getting brighter and brighter. That's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing the muddiness that you had in you is being taken away. I will actually cleansed it away, and I have this beautiful lavender with mixed with white. It's like the two colors is going all the way to the ceiling, and your aura is changing to bright yellow. And so we'll just let you sit in here for a few minutes, and if you'd like to tell me how you're feeling as you're sitting in there, you're welcome to. If not, just enjoy it.
That feels great. I feel like there's a big rocking sensation going on. Yeah.
And that's my rocks and crystals vibrating, and they're working. They work very hard, but they like to work. Rocks and crystals, they do like to work. They do like to help. Because they're just all they are is love energy. And so they do that. And they like working with people. They like being used. They also, I talked to somebody who laid on a rock platform, and they felt all this energy from the rock was just lifting her. But you got to remember, the rocks are connected to the earth, and the earth, is what helps ground you. And so this is why, I do this. This is why I do these energy circles, and this is why I've always done things through the years. While we're waiting for her cooking, I'll tell you what I did for my father. He came over one time and he told me he actually had Bell's palsy. He was like, one side was really drooped down, the head and the face and everything. And he goes, Barbara, I'm in trouble. And I said, oh, Dad, I'll fix you. So I worked with him for 3 days. I had him, I was working on his face and doing pressure points and actually crystals, and he's looking at me like, yeah, okay. And but after 3 days, he was perfectly normal. Each day he was looking better and better. So this is just some of the things that you can do.
Have you ever had an experience with, I think they're called biomats, where they have amethyst stones, but it's kind of electricity mixed with electromagnetics mixed with amethyst. Do you have any experience with that, or do you have any thoughts on technology plus?
I actually laid in one of those amethyst things like that, and I felt like I was being zapped, So, I'm sure that, I feel like I had electricity going through me, and I'm sure that some people would enjoy that, but I didn't care for it, so.
Kind of like from what you were saying today, there's already so much power, natural power, balanced power in the crystals and the stones. So electricity and pushing it with technologies, why would you want to?
Right, but you have to understand, there's so many people that are unbelievers, and so many people that are not sensitive, to experiencing, crystals and that getting them a little jolt. Then they kind of think, oh, this is doing something. Yeah, exactly. So, for somebody I think that it'd be okay if if you were a person that really didn't, get rocks, or crystals, and you just wanted to experience something, for that. I think that it would be a good experience. But for me, like I said, I did not enjoy it. And I felt that the rocks were going, do we have to? I didn't think that they really liked that. But once again, my opinion. Other people think that it's wonderful, and I think that everyone's opinion has value. So I would never want to, dismiss anybody's opinion. So I think that for some people it would be good, but for me, I would prefer not to. Okay, you look like you've just about had enough.
Well, good.
So yeah, I'm going to open the circle for you. So I had, this lady and then this lady and then you.
Oh, I have a question.
Okay, go ahead.
My question is, you were collecting rocks since childhood. Did you also see auras since childhood?
Oh yeah, I've always seen auras, but I didn't know it was called an aura. I called it glowing, and what you guys have to understand, my childhood was different than others. It was just after World War II. I was a preemie. I was a 7-month baby. I was 4 pounds, went down to 3. I was in an incubator for a month. And I have a red overlay over my eyes because back then, and the red overlay means it's a conscious decision between a child from birth to 3 years old to protect them from something that's happening traumatically that would affect them, like abuse. Something for me, it was oxygen going into my eyes. And I knew that oxygen destroys eyes, by the way, for infants. So, but they didn't know that back then. So I put the red overlay on so that I would protect my eyes. Now, at 6 years old, I became a third parent. My sister came along, and it was too long for me. I was an only child till then. I actually was an adult at 2, and I was like a Benjamin Buttons, actually. And at 3 years old, I taught myself to read, and I started going to school at 4. And in 6, I was taking care of my sister because my mom was not well. And at 10 years old, I was taking care of my brother. I was the one that stayed up at night to watch this vaporizer go into his crib because he had asthma so bad. He had those old fashion Vicks vaporizers with the glass. And I had to make sure that, it didn't run out because it would shatter and we couldn't afford to buy another one. So that was my job. I was always like a responsible person. In my teens, 9th grade, the teacher was trying to teach algebra, and kids weren't getting it. So I said, well, this is so easy. So I just walked up there on the board, and I said, and I wrote out everything. I see, if you do this and this, it equals that. And I was explaining it to them. They go, oh, that's easy. So I used to get phone calls, in algebra. So, and I used to help the other students out. In 12th grade, I had my own, they gave me my own room it was like a study hall. And so I took care of that. Plus I worked in the library, plus I worked in the kitchen. So, I always worked, but I always thought it was glowing, It wasn't until my 30s that I found out it was an aura. So, how life is. You have things happen to you, and then you decide you need to talk to a therapist. So because I am a proud feminist, okay? In the 80s, feminist was a dirty word. So I wore the button feminist at work all the time. I'm a feminist. You think I'm dirty? That's fine. I don't care. But, oh gosh, I lost my train of thought. I was just trying to get to, in my 30s, I went to a feminist therapist. In one of my sessions, there was a bulletin board over there. And on this bulletin board, I saw this, it was like a little mouse, and my perception was jumping around the bulletin board. And so I was laughing at it because it was funny. This little thing was jumping around the board. So she said, what are you laughing at? And I said, well, it looks like this little mouse thing is jumping around the board. And she said, and this is where it gets weird, I dreamed I was in land of 2 and I divided myself so I could understand people. And I was just thinking about what I was going to put on that bulletin board. So I go, so you weren't paying attention to me. So then she said, do you know what that is? I said, I haven't the faintest idea. So then she said, aura. I said, oh, that's a word I never heard before. So I went, they had these magazines and, for alternate stuff. And so I found out that, I think it was called Phenomenews. It's no longer in effect now. But through this Phenomenews, I found that there was a woman named Barbara Bowers. And she was a famous aura reader in California. So she was coming to Michigan. So I thought, okay, let me understand about these auras. So I went to the class. Now, mind you, I'm sitting in the back of the class. And what you don't know about me is if I'm uncomfortable in a situation, I become a turtle. And you sit there with my head just barely sticking up and just, crouched down. You'd never know that. Actually, the deaf people changed me, but that's another story, which I might tell you. But so all of a sudden she looks at me, she says, and you see them too. And I goes, yeah. So she pulled me up front and she had me verify every single thing. She worked with, she trained me right on the spot, and she helped me understand the auras. Well, my mother's always told me that I'm more moral than she ever was. And I thought that was a pretty shocking thing to say because I thought my mother was pretty moral. So I'm going to have to tell you the deaf story. Because I learned to sign within 6 months. In sign language, and I became an interpreter. Not certified, but because the deaf didn't want me to. And when you're an interpreter for a deaf person, it's like if you want to talk, but you can't talk to each other. But I know both of your your languages. I would be the one to talk between you. But it's none of my business what you two have to say. So as soon as I'm done, I forget. It's totally gone. So that's what the morality is. So when I learned about the aura colors, the same thing. Ooh. Then it's getting too deep in personalities, and if I get too deep in them, then they may feel uncomfortable, and I don't want anyone to say, "Oh, is she seeing in me? I'm not so," I learned to turn it down. I worked really hard on it, but I turned it down, so I only look deep with permission and individual. I will never tell anyone in a room, group room, really deep things, because that's your business. And you don't want your business, you don't want everyone else knowing what you have to say or who you are. I might see that you have really sad eyes and you had a hard childhood and maybe your father did something that he shouldn't have. And, all that stuff is totally none of anyone else's business. So I only do it with permission individually. Even when somebody says, "Oh, tell me her aura," I said, if she doesn't give me permission, I'm not telling you anything. So that's the morality part. So I actually in my 30s, I learned that it was aura, and I learned about the colors. And I don't necessarily agree with everybody else's thoughts. I always, from what I have seen through the years and have experienced, the life experiences and the people colors and their auras and how they are, that's how I determine, and that's how I do things. So, does that answer your question? Yes. Okay. Anyone else? Okay. But did you have a question? Oh, okay. Yeah.
I just have a really quick question. My daughter has this awesome collection of rocks in her closet. She now lives in Chicago, and they're in my house. Do I need to ask permission to use her rocks, or since she's my daughter and they're in my home, is there no problem?
Well, if she left those rocks in your house, then you are welcome to use those rocks, and they would probably really enjoy experiencing them. Okay. And so your daughter, daughter collected them. If she felt compelled to take them, they would have gone with her. Okay. All right. I had her, and then if we have time, I have a few more people. Did you have a question? Okay. So I have 1, 2, somebody over here, and her. Okay. All right. Walk, come on in.
Or you want to look at me first?
Okay. Thank you for reminding me. 70, remember? Last day. Okay, you're a lavender, which is, it's another really cool color. And lavender people like to work with people, you enjoy people, but you tend to be a little on the naive side. Am I kidding?
I think the best of people, let's say it that way.
Yeah, but now that you know that, you're kind of gonna get a little bit more skepticism in there. Okay, are you sure? All right. Your aura is kind of pale right now, but it's energetic. So I'm going to put you in the rocks, and I'm going to just charge your aura up a little bit. Sometimes I like to sing. Huh?
They're coming closer.
Yes, they are. And let's see. You need, this one right here is my eye rock. You can actually see an eye in it. See right there? Mm-hmm. So that's the rock that you're supposed to hold on to.
How do you know that, Barb? Is that just intuitive?
Just intuitive. Well, actually, my rocks tell me if they want to be, if they want an extra one to be put in or not. But because she's a lavender, and a lavender, and because she tends to be a little naive, she needs to wake up. So therefore, I gave her the eye stone to kind of open her chakras, which I'm going to do that too. In your case, I'm going to work on opening your chakras a little bit more, so you're not quite so naive. So. One, 2, 3. Now, I don't always seal everybody up. Some people, she definitely needs to be sealed. Everybody's different. And I do different things with people. but for her, what I'm going to do is I'm going to work on your crown chakra, your head chakra, your throat chakra, and on down. And it's just to open you up a little bit more so that you're not going to be quite so trusting of everybody else. Because people, unfortunately, people like you can be taken advantage of so easily. So you really don't want that. I mean, you want to be kind and you want to be helpful, but you don't want people to take advantage of you, which they do, which I know because it's happened to me. Oh, sure, yeah, I'll sign this paper. Yeah, I'll be a co-signer. Ended up having to pay the whole thing, so yeah. So yeah, I learned the hard way.
Well, Barb, if there's a break in the aura, what are the problems with that? I mean, I know notice you're sealing everybody today. Is that because you're seeing a break in their aura where it's opening, and what?
Well, I sewed one person, which when sewing is like going back and forth, and cleaning the auras, I like go reverse one way and then the other. Sometimes the rock wants me to go clockwise, and sometimes it wants me to go counterclockwise, depending on the person, depending on what I see in their, in the energy and the chakras. So sometimes I have to go both ways. Breaks in auras is a lot of times if you've been in an accident or, been hit on the head or, hurt your legs, hurt your knees, something like that. It can cause a break in your aura. And I just fix it. I just sew it right back up and connect the two parts, and they say, okay, thank you. But that's me. I mean, because that's what I see, and that's what I've done. So does that answer your question? Okay. Any other questions you have, throw out, just go right ahead. So.
Well, I know once my aura was broken, and you really sewed it up and fixed it and healed it up.
Right.
And is that when there's a break in the energy, can you have like entities or attachments easier that way?
Yes, you can. Yeah. And when your aura is broken, it makes you weaker. It makes you more susceptible to illness. It makes you have bad health. And even when the aura is repaired, there's damage. Some of the damage is done, and it'll take a while. So people like that, I recommend being in my circle several times. Like we have a date. We'll have a date to do it again. Let's see, your heart one is the one that's mostly open because you're just so giving to everybody else. When you get taken advantage of, and I know that because I can see it in your aura, so you can't lie to me.
I didn't say you were incorrect. I worded it differently.
Yeah.
Put a different perspective on it.
Hey, I can't help it. I'm honest and blunt, and I don't pull punches, You're just very kind.
I dish it out, so it's okay.
All right. So I'm going to kind of double seal you after that. Okay, and now I'm just going to watch her cook. So, and I just watch the aura. Now, as you're sitting in there after I've done that, your color is so much brighter. You have a lot of white now in your lavender, and it's going right through the ceiling. You're connecting with your higher power as you're in here, and you're also getting more grounded. And your aura colors. Let's see, we're getting some other colors. The crystals sometimes will change the aura colors as to what they need. So your legs are getting yellow in them and green. So apparently they needed some type of healing. And the yellow is kind of connecting you to your higher power. And let's see what else we see. Let's see. Actually, I see a little bit of red. Don't be shy. It's really okay. And that's just auras do blush, and they're so cute, and I love it. And so yes, and your energy level is just being picked up. The crystals just jumped on you double time, and the aura energy is just really radiating. So how are you feeling?
Well, I feel energy very intensely all the time.
Okay.
So, but I'm feeling the spaces where I wasn't feeling myself. I would say probably.
Right. So that's a good thing.
I've heard you say that like you're a yellow and different people are a different color, but I've also heard you say that your aura colors can change. So do you have like a core color that's always kind of with you?
Yeah, my core color is yellow. The changes in the aura are emotions, and what you're going through.
But you're still a yellow.
I'm still yellow. I got a little red over here and a red overlay, and and when I'm healing, I get green or lavender, around me for that. And if I'm angry, then sometimes I'll have red flying around, which I don't get angry anymore. I just, I don't do that. If I do get upset, it goes away in about 5 minutes, because I just have to ground myself, cool. It's not worth it. Let it go, So, but that doesn't.
All have a core color.
Right. Yeah, we all have core colors, and basically when I work with people on one-on-one, what I do is I try to see what their core color is and see where they feel that they might be interested in pursuing, and if you're in something that you're very unhappy with doing, then I say, well, what do you really like? What would make you happy? Because we all, unfortunately, we have, death and taxes, and we have to earn a living in, some way or shape or form. And if you're doing this living, why not have fun while you're doing it? And so one of my ideas is to try to get people to direct them more to something that they would enjoy rather than just suffering through every day. I mean, my job, I stopped working for the post office years ago because one day I got really upset with the boss, and I decided to do what I would do in an hour in a day. And I was so tired that night that it wasn't worth it. So after that, I worked for myself. All the years I worked at the post office, I worked for myself, and I'm a harder taskmaster. So when I moved from one office to another, they had to replace me with several people because I, would do a lot of work. And so it was fine, but I made lemonade with my lemons, and the post office actually helped me have extra money to be able to explore different avenues of my interest in. Even though I did them part-time, it still, it made my soul satisfied. Did that answer your question? Okay. Anyone else? Okay, let's see. You're cooking away there. And I think I'm going to let you leave now. I think that's enough for right now. Okay? So let me open it. Okay?
Give you back your friend.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. Okay, you're next. Huh?
I'm not getting a side view.
Okay. All right, let's see. Boy, your aura has changed so much better than since when I first met you.
I was wondering.
Yeah, it has. You're doing so much better. She is a lavender, and but she used to have a lot of black and darkness around you, but you're still going through some stuff. So your aura is still pale. So you still need some recharging up. So let's just put you in this circle. And let's see what we can do for you. So I've known her she's been here for a while, so I've been working on her on and off.
I'm glad it's better.
Yes, it is. Actually, the first time I met her, it's like I wanted to run the other way. So that's how much she's improved. But I never give up on anybody, you know. But you know, it was pretty scary.
Thanks, Barb.
Like I said, Bo, don't pull no punches. Whoops.
Well, what was scary about the aura? All the blackness?
Yeah, because it was so dark. It was so dark that it was like you were. You know how you saw Pigpen on, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and he's always carrying around this little cloud.
Yeah.
Well, that's what you were doing. You were carrying around a cloud.
I'm glad it's gone.
Yeah, me too. But once again, you know, Ethan's energy transfers, she's been to a lot of them, and she's gotten rid of a lot of things. And, you know, I really, you know, have so much respect for his energy transfers because they changed people's lives. They've changed them around. They've changed you. It's like, I just want to hug her every time I see her now. You know, it's like, okay, I'm going to seal you up. 1, 2, 3. And then I'm going to put you around here. And sometimes I do it back to front, sometimes I do it front to back. It doesn't really matter. Okay. So, once again, I got to watch her cook. I always call it cooking because, you know, the crystals, they do their work. And
So are my chakras open?
Huh?
Are my chakras all open?
They are. You know, I could tweak them a little bit. I think I will, but let me observe you for a minute to see what I need to do. I know I've worked on them before. So, but okay. You have, you're good connected up there. You've got lavender. Well, of course, anyone that does Ethan's energy transfers, their auras are up through the ceiling anyway. So you've got your lavender, and you have a mix of lavender and white coming through here. And, your colors are starting to get stronger now in the circle. So you really needed this. What's happening is her pale lavender is turning into a deep lavender as she's sitting in the stones. So the stones are actually, they're giving you a lot of energy right now. And I don't know if you can feel it or not, but I can see the energy coming in to your aura. And it's really deep. And it's really, oh wow, I can't believe the difference. I should have thrown you in a circle a long time ago. Yeah, I know. Well, my rocks didn't want to come with me before, so what am I going to do? This is my first time that I brought my rocks because, you know, I guess, you know, I really wanted people to know how to do this and have the experience of, you know, sitting in an energy circle. And like I said, I honestly believe that other people can do this. I don't believe I'm the only one in the world that can do this. But this is the reason we're doing this today is I want to show, you know, how to make an energy circle. Like I said, these are all random crystals and rocks. There's rocks and there's crystals. And the ones that I chose, or they chose me, you know, however you want to think of it. I think some of them chose me. Like, this one definitely chose me. Get over here. So, I'm going to keep you in there for a little while, and because I think that this is really good for you. This is really good for you. Her aura is changing, and so energetically that it's. And you even got green healing in your back. The green color. Green can also be a healing color. And there are a lot of people that are green. They tend to be people that they're doctors or nurses, or they work with children. You know, they work in some type of field to help people. Sometimes psychiatrists are that. Lawyers are usually always like a brown color. It's like a tan, you know, because they have to be analytical and they have to be, you know, really serious. So, you know, I mean, if I see a person that's in, you know, that's that color, then I know that they're they're a lawyer, then I know they're in the correct field, because that's, you know, you have to be that type of personality, because, I mean, you think about it, they go through a lot, you know, so.
When you met that aura lady, how did she know you could see auras?
That was what really surprised me, you know. I mean, I was in the back, I was being the turtle, and then she realized that I saw them, probably because, and I don't know, her intuition probably. Okay, for now, now that you're cooking really good, I'll just kind of set everything up. I'll just work on your chakras a little bit. You like that one, don't you? Whew. I'm just that a little shock there. Okay. That was a zap, reverse zap.
Which
for
chakra,
me?
Which chakra is that?
Is your this side? That's the one, yeah. 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 Thank you. I don't always remember. Like I said, 70. I do the best I can. Okay, so I'm going to let you sit in there a couple more minutes. I got that all cleared. I mean, you know, and now I've got this green healing color all over you now, and so the stones are actually, you know, giving you some extra healing, and actually you look like you're heating up from them. So you're not going to be able to stand there too much longer, you know, because yes.
How big should the circle be, or doesn't it really matter?
It doesn't really matter. You know, all I do is try to connect to the vibration of the area. And so I let I'm just a tool, and it decides where I need to point, you know, and where I need to clear that, like a little blockage. Like, you know, where chakras, you know, they come out in a circle, then they kind of go like this. And
rock circle, does it matter how big the rock circle is?
No, it does not. No, just as long as somebody can sit inside it. Or a lot of times that I make it, when I have somebody laying it down, I put them all around them that way. You know, but I didn't want to bring a big table in and have everyone lay down, and this is so much easier, you know, so I try to make the best for the situation. But, you know, I have, when I really give somebody a treatment, you know, I do a lot of different things that I do for them, and then I put stones on them, and then I set the stones and set the intention and you know, stuff like that. So,
Barb, would you ever have more than one person in a circle at a time, or would you always only do one person?
you know what? If it was a couple, I would do the couple. You know, I could do that. But I only brought so many stones, so for right now, it has to be only one person. But yeah, I could put a couple in there. Usually you would want to be. It would have to be like a couple, you know. You really, I mean, even if it was your best friend, it not necessarily would work, you know. So, but you know, I don't often. I have done aura readings on couples to see if they were really compatible for each other. Yeah, and sometimes they're not. And and when they're not, they end up usually getting a divorce.
I haven't heard the term energy transfers before. Is this something else that you do locally?
Yes, matter of fact, after my thing, we're going to have something new. We're going to have a combination of Michaela and Ethan doing the energy transfer, and I may be part of this too. I'm not quite sure. We're gonna see. But usually, I took Michaela's spot today. You know, I decided to do this healing with to demonstrate how to make an energy circle with rocks and crystals, and have people sit in it and experience it. So I'm gonna let you come out of this. Let's see. Okay, you're green. That's what I'm seeing. But your energy's really low. You don't feel good. You don't. Your aura is telling me you don't feel well. So I'm going to. Your energy is like really, really low. It's just really close. I mean, with people with auras, you have different layers of energy, and the basic one, is close core, but you've pulled everything inside of you, so that's all I'm seeing.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So I'm going to have you step into the circle. This one wants you to hold it.
All right.
Yeah. That's actually one that I personally picked out of a rock wall in Canada.
Really?
Yes. I know. And it just jumped out and said, well, it just wanted to have you hold it. It didn't want to be in the circle and wanted you to hold it. So what I'm going to do with you is I'm going to work on sealing you in, and then I'm going to do the 3 circles around, and I'm going to amp it up so that you get like a double charge. So not only that, you're going to take this too. Yeah, so because you need it.
Okay.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going to do 6, and then we did it twice as much because your energy is so low. And then see you front to back. And then I'm going to kind of, and this is something I very seldom do, but I'm going to kind of tweak you around. I'm just going to kind of turn my crystal around and just going to kind of try to energize your aura because it's so weak. I just trust my crystals. They tell me what to do. I never have turned my crystal on anyone before. This is the first time. But it's like, how you're putting a screw in and you want to kind of tighten it so that it's nice and strong. Well, that's what's going. We're tightening up your aura to open it up to to be able to glow. So I'm going to watch how this works. Okay? All right. So your aura is already doubled in size. Yeah. I'm seeing you're showing me a lot of yellow on your legs. Yellow, red. You having problems with your legs? Yeah, because your legs look like they're having issues.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah. And I can see that in your aura. Okay, now because I said that, now now I'm getting the green healing color on your legs. Your aura is expanded again. I'm watching it expand. It's doubling in size. Like, the rocks are helping, the crystals and rocks are helping your aura double in size, and it's getting larger. So yeah, you're a good candidate. I'm glad you came up here, so that we could get you cooking and give you energy. Look at their color. The color of her face is already improved. Can you guys see that?
Better. Well, my sister's been trying to get me to come here to see her for a while.
Yeah. Okay. Well, your color is better already. I mean, and your aura is doubling. It's like I'm watching a transformation right here, and that's which is really good. You're getting more energy. I think your energy was very weak, and the crystals are helping your energy get so much improvement. The aura is starting to stretch out towards the ceiling. It's trying to connect with the higher universe, and I see some lavender healing color coming in you, but your basic color is green. So green people they like to help other people. They like to work with people. You like to work with children, or you like to socialize, but then you have those doubts in you. Do I really want to do this? Am I good enough? So you have the, am I good enough? Huh?
That's exactly right.
Yeah. You don't think you're good enough to do things, but you are. You're not only good enough that when you actually set your mind to do it, people are going to go, wow, look at her. And that's what's going to happen to you. Because once you get that confidence that you can do things, and you're already starting to build that confidence right now.
Yeah, I feel it.
Yes. And see, this is another transformation of what I can do for people when they sit in a healing circle. It also, my rocks and crystals will boost people and help them build the confidence to know that they can do things and they can achieve things, and you are worthy, you are important. People do love you, and you are loved. And my rocks and my crystals love you, and they are giving you all this boosted energy, because they want you to know that you are an important person, and that you will do many good things,
Okay.
Yeah. And as I'm watching, her aura is changing and it's growing. So you had your aura all blocked up, and that's why I had to turn the rock. That's why I had to turn the crystal, because you were so wound up that you didn't know how to loosen yourself up. You're just full of self-doubts and just don't feel that you're as good as everyone else, but you are. You're just as good, or if not better than some. But never get prideful. Always feel that, respect, and because I'm never prideful. I don't do that. But I just want you to know that you can do wonderful things, and you have that ability in you, and I can see that it's showing me through your aura. And like I said, your aura has grown and grown, and pretty soon it's going to be,
Shall I stand?
Do you feel like you're done? Because yeah, okay. I think you. Okay, so let me open the circle for you.
Okay.
Okay. So I am so glad that you won. You were one of the ones that was volunteering, because I can see quite a difference in you. Okay.
Thank you
All right.
so much.
Oh, you're
It
welcome.
make me feel so much better.
Oh, can I have a hug from you?
Yeah, Thank you.
Okay. I'm sorry. He was the last one that raised his hand. But,
Question.
oh, sure.
You're talking about the aura going to the ceiling?
Yes.
Is it shiny? Is it lavender? And which is a better color?
It's like a white light that's connecting with the universe and bringing the universal energies down into, because we're all connected.
Can it be lavender color too?
I beg your pardon?
Can it be a lavender color?
Yes, it can be.
So which is a better one?
Well, there is no better one. It depends on your color. If you were a lavender, you would see lavender and white, and possibly yellow. I've had different colors go up and down. There's always going to be white, and it'll always be interfaced with your core color. Go ahead.
Don't they say that Saint Germain, like violet color, and it's supposed to be very high?
Right.
In this thing, so
Yeah.
would lavender be a better color than?
In my opinion, there is no better color. They are all good colors. The white and the clear, that's your high color. That's I see this white. It's like a clear, and white. What I see, but when their aura energies interfacing with it, then I see part of their aura color also reaching up there too.
Right, but the saints have usually gold and violet.
Well, I know, the saints, they're gold, and I have seen some golden people, and it's not a common color, and because it just isn't a very common color in my experience. Now, other people may have seen it more than me, but I have seen it rarely, but I have seen it.
One more question. I was just wondering, the transformation which they get, does it last is it a permanent one?
Anytime that I shift somebody, yes, it lasts. When I heard this, for instance, that lady right there, her aura is always going to be open now. It was closed down. Yes, it'll always be open. When I repair an aura, and that's where, I'm not trying to keep people coming back, for the same thing. If they do come back, it's to grow more. But what I've done is permanent. Okay?
Barb?
Yes.
So, how does what you see compare to, because a lot of people get their aura photography done, and is it similar? Do you find that aura cameras are accurate, or are they just picking up something totally different?
Carilion photography, where they actually cut a leaf in half and they take the picture of the leaf and that energy, and that's clear. That is the tree remembers the imprint. Aura photography, you'll have to understand, deals with a lot of people's emotions and what they're going through. So you'll see the different colors in the aura photography, and it'll give you an idea, but it's an idea what your emotions are at that particular minute. That's for an aura photography, and your core color may not even show up that time because, but I think that it's a good experience for people to see, get an idea of what an aura looks like, and get the different colors, but they're also like heat, and, that's how I perceive it. I don't necessarily agree with it. I think it's a tool. But it's your emotions and your thoughts and what you're going through at that particular moment when the camera is going on. So, although it's a good tool, that's not. I personally think that it's a good way of opening people up to seeing, oh, that's what an aura looks like, so they get an idea. So
core colors don't show up.
They might not necessarily. It may show up and they may not. It depends on how you are feeling. If you're feeling anxious because you're getting a picture taken, you might have the stress colors show up. And this, of course, you have to understand, this is only my opinion and what I have observed. I'm not saying that it's everyone's opinion. A lot of people like aura photography. They like to have that, utilize that tool. And I think that it's a good way to open people up to understanding people's auras. So, but my opinion is necessary, and everyone has the right to their own opinion. So this just happens to be my personal opinion. Okay, so we have time for one more. Okay, so
I'm carrying my own crystal. Can I keep it?
I beg your pardon?
I'm carrying my own crystal.
Okay, that's fine. You can have your crystal. My crystals will be happy to see your crystal. And you're another yellow person, so come on in. Come on in and I'll close you right in. My crystals like visiting their friends. Ugh. Okay, however, with your yellow, even though your crystal, and by the way, the crystals are all saying hi, your energy still is kind of low. So what I'm going to do is we're just going to tweak your energy level and, let the crystals do their little thing, So your energy right now is only about this high around your body. So he's only like about this. I don't know if you can feel me, but that's all I'm seeing around his body. It's very low today, All right, you're just pulling it in. And and you can pull your aura in, because that's exactly what I did when I was at Barbara Bauer's seminar. I pulled mine in so tight she could not see it. Because I was so nervous and it was so new. And when I finally relaxed, that's when she saw my aura. She says, "You're a yellow with a red overlay, and you see them too, and come up here." Already, So, so you have, and even with aura photography, you can, with your feelings and emotions, change the color of that aura, aura picture. So it depends on how you're feeling, to get back to that little thing. So I'm just going to seal a circle. One, two, three. Now, just like her, your energy's low, so I'm going to work on. Again, I'm gonna tweak your energy. I'm gonna start moving it up. Huh?
The second and the twist.
Yeah. This person has to start somewhere, right? You could use a little opening there, right here. I'm gonna open it. Oh, I just got pain there. So I'll work on that a little more. It says, no, not done yet. I also get backlashes sometimes. So if I ever do something right, I will feel it, and so I have to correct that. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to let the crystals cook him a little bit, and we'll see what happens. Okay, his aura just doubled. Okay, now it's reaching up. I'm seeing some lavender going up, as well as the yellow. I'm seeing lavender, yellow, and white going up, reaching up to the universe now. And it seemed like it was blocked before because I didn't see it. Your aura was very close. So I'm seeing that. And your aura just doubled again. It was like this, and now it's doubled again. And your aura is getting clearer, because it was pale. And now it's brightening up, and deeper yellow. And okay, and it's doubled again. It works pretty fast. My crystals work pretty fast. It's really, working on them pretty fast. So, your back is doubled. Your head is doubled, and it's keep growing. So I'm going to put you on, and I just keep you on here, and for a little longer. And this is really wonderful. This is two people that I've just, made their auras just expand so much. It's great. How are you feeling?
Overheating my back.
Yeah, so you should, because your aura just doubled again. So okay, if you start to feel uncomfortable, let me know, because I'll take you right out. But okay, the aura just expanded again, and so yes. It's just that this is giving you a good healing in your aura field. Your aura is doing a lot better, and I'm actually seeing lavender come out of your third eye chakra, and it's like, actually it's coming in and out. It's going like this. It's going in. It's I don't usually see this, so I've opened it enough that I can actually see the spiraling of the lavender and the yellow, and it's like I've opened up your third eye, so they're going to be, it's going to expand your mind and your ability to experience, things. So, okay. All right. So I'm just going to leave you in there for just a short time more, and then I'm going to wrap it up. So, yes.
Do you ever feel like it is exhausting or depleting, or do you feel more energized?
For me, when I work with my crystals, I just love working with my crystals. And what you give, you get. When I give, I receive, Even when I worked with people, when I did the other body work in that, when I gave to them, I got back just as much. So I think that you probably have had enough. Even though you'd like to have more, I'm going to have to let you come out of the circle. and I would like a hug. Thank you. And I appreciate everybody coming here. I've thoroughly enjoyed doing this, and I'm glad that I had enough, certain many people that, I could help. And the last two, I really expanded their auras, and I really enjoyed that. And like I said, I truly believe that other people can make these energy circles, and the benefits of them for your health and your energy and your well-being, and help you spiritually, emotionally, and physically. I can't say physically, I really can't. It helps me physically, it makes me feel better. But I think it's more emotional and more spiritual. And that's basically what these are, is to help your emotions, to help your spiritual, to help you grow. And if there's no other questions, I want to thank you so much for coming. Oh, wait a minute.
One last question.
Okay.
At least for me.
Okay.
You said you're sensitive since you're young, so it's kind of like you were born to this, and in fact they were talking to you, take me home. So as you're lighting up a circle, it's like you're getting direct feedback, like, oh, this should go here, this should go here. But for those who don't necessarily...
You can do nothing wrong.
Okay, that was my question.
Yeah, you can do nothing wrong.
I lied, I have a second question.
Okay.
Do you know of any places around here for going to look for stones, minerals?
Well, I mentioned I really don't necessarily promote people, but the Crystal Treasure is over there on Walton Boulevard in Pontiac. Yeah. I really like that store. I like the energy of all the rocks. There's some rock shops I turn around and walk right out of, but that one I happen to like. So I'm going to have to tell them I promoted them. But I really do like that. And a lot of times you'll go to rock shows. If you ever look at rock clubs or, go online, you'll find that every so often there'll be a rock show. And whatever you're drawn to, that's what you like. If you like the feel of that rock, or if you like the color of the rock, that's what you're drawn to. That's what you should get. That's because it's you don't even realize it, but it's telling you. So, all right, with that, thank you so much, everybody. I really appreciate it.